In this episode of WTF Performance, we pick up a new project car. Episode of WTF Performance. My name is Joel, and today I am on my way to pick up a new project car. I have been keeping an eye out for good deals on cars, and they have been few and far between this year with the crazy used car market. Cars that were junk before, and people would be like $1,500 or best offer, and you could wait them out and then throw them $1,000 or $800 and pick up these beaters. Those cars are now $4,000. It's crazy. So I've tried to wait a few out, and I've lost a bunch of them. So people are actually paying money for them apparently. But this one, it's one of my all-time dream cars. I'm heading out to Springfield, Illinois to pick up a 300ZX Turbo. It's pretty rough. It doesn't run. Apparently it just needs a fuel pump, but I'll tell you what, it needs a lot more TLC than just a fuel pump. But that's my favorite kind of projects. You clean them up and, maybe a little paint, scrub in the interior, and you got a nice car. So we're going to go pick this thing up, $1,200, and see what kind of project it turns into. Hopefully it doesn't turn into a real rough one, because the Corvette's already dominating all my time. Okay, so I met with the owner. He was super cool. He had the car in a storage unit, so we aired up the tires. All four were pretty much totally flat, and he walked me through the car. Again, it don't fire up, but everything seems to be there even if it's taken apart. And we got it loaded on the dolly. He actually disconnected the drive shaft for me, which was super cool, because I wasn't planning on doing that. I was just gonna kind of risk it, but he already did that for me, so that was appreciated. But yeah, $1,200. She's loaded up. The only problem I have is the rear right tire. It barely holds air. It goes dead flat in probably 15 minutes. So I put a fix-a-flat in it, and then I had the Walmart air it up for me, and it had already leaked out by the time I walked in and out of Walmart again. So I put a whole thing of that slime in there, and then I actually bought a little air compressor, so if I get stuck on the side of the highway, I'm not stranded waiting for help. So at least I have a little inflator, and we're just gonna take our time. I'll make frequent stops and just try to get this thing home. 2 hours. Let's go. All right, update. Worst thing that could happen happened immediately. Shredded tire. FML. I think I'm gonna try and swap the front for the rear and keep going. But I was just at a Walmart that had tires, and I should have just thrown a tire on it. This one unfortunately doesn't. Damn it! Update number 2. I managed to get the shredded tire wheel off by running over a chunk of itself to get it high enough for me to get the factory jack onto there, jack up that one wheel. I busted that loose, and remarkably, the spare tire that was in this car, it is not happy, but it took air. So I was able to limp it over to Discount Tire where I'm getting 2 new tires just so I can make it home for sure. So I got on the list right before it closed. They're hopefully gonna have me done. I'm gonna slam these 2 wheels back on and try to make it the 2 hours home. New tires on, let's hit the road and get home. So I made it home. It was a long day. Lindsay felt pretty bad because she wasn't feeling good and she bailed on me for this journey. But after hearing about my daily event, she was pretty sorry.
Yeah. I felt like it was all my fault because I wasn't there, so then it all went to shit. Oops.
Yeah, Lindsay's vital to my rescues of cars. She would have done a lot to get me out of trouble. She would have sat there and been like, I'm hot, I'm hungry, I have to pee. So anyway, the cherry on top of this whole journey was that there were a couple things I didn't know about the car before I got there. Otherwise I would have maybe planned for them. The tires being the first thing. None of the tires had air in them. We aired them up. One of them was so dry rotted that it wouldn't barely hold air, and then exploded on the highway in a magnificent fashion. Probably the most destroyed tire I've ever had to date. The second thing is that one of the 2 T-tops was broken. Now that doesn't really bother me that much because I could just replace it, but it stormed something gnarly this morning.
It was crazy.
So we saw the forecast, like 9, and some showers, and I was like, cool, I'll wake up and I'll throw something on top. 6:30, it was growling outside, and it was looking real dark. I was like, I better just get up. I ignored the snooze button, which I'd normally hit a couple times, and
you made it just in time.
I came out here and I got soaked while trying to cover the T-top. So 1 cardboard box later, a piece of shipping plastic, and I threw the spare tire on top to hold it all down because the car was already wet, so I couldn't duct tape it or anything. But the car interior is fully dry even after that torrential downpour, so pretty good.
Well, we woke up, the alarm went off. I'm like, why is it still super dark out? It was super dark out, and then literally as soon as Joel came inside, it went crazy.
So now we're gonna try and drop this thing off the dolly, and then we're gonna haul it over to the garage, and maybe we'll do like a Mighty Car Mod style, go through the interior and see all the junk that's in there, because there's a lot.
Yeah.
So let's unload it real quick and we'll get back to you.
Still
So I got the car off the dolly, and I put the drive shaft back on. That way at least I can put the car in park, and without chalking it, it'll stay where it is. So I left the bolts loose because it was hard enough to get them in there. But yeah, we can go ahead and check this thing out. Go through the interior, and got some bins and a garbage can set up. So we're gonna go through, put the good bits in bins and put the bad bits in the junk. See if there's anything cool in there. Alright, first thing I can see is there's definitely some gnarly rust in here. The floor and the trunk is gone on both sides, but got the old seat covers. That's pretty gross. Yeah. The seats are annihilated. The interior might be the worst part of the car, even despite the roof. But a lot of the interior panels, I guess, are in here. We'll have to sort through and see if any of them are actually missing. This looks like a, oh, it's the cross brace with like the pull-out privacy screen for the trunk. Pretty gross. I don't know if that's salvageable. More interior bits. Oh, like a parcel shelf. That's cool. That's better than a privacy screen thing. I don't know what the hell that is. Something for the spare tire. This kind of looks like a T-top bag, like it is. Good thing there's only one, because I only have one T-top. Ah, looks like this trunk liner is already pretty much out. So, one thing the guy told me, and I didn't really understand, he said one of the T-tops is broken, but he's like, but I saved the bar for you. So the key will match, you put the bar on the new window. And I guess this is what he was talking about. It's like the side piece with the latch for the T-top. So, I don't know how easy or hard that'll be to put this on a new T-top, but kind of thinking a set from eBay and just call it a day on these. Save that for sure. That was the back trim piece. Ooh, look at that. 300ZX Turbo. Goes right here. It's like a hold down for the spare tire and tools. Speaker grill. There you go, fixed. Free tools! Oh yeah! Gotta love a free tool. 10 mil, 1/4 inch ratchet, and a little stubby set of needle nose pliers. Sweet! This car is basically free. Looks like he was a golfer. The Bank of Edwardsville tee, golf tee. This is a owner's manual for a VCR. Another speaker grill. That's fixed. Oh look, we're pre-wired for subs. Don't you love that? When you get these old cars that have been through a bunch of teenagers. And you're pre-wired, baby. You just put your big subwoofer box right back in here and you're living back in the freaking 90s. Maybe the early 2000s. Looks like there's some kind of container in here that was so old that it just dry rotted and broke down. It's a shame the seats are annihilated because they're really cool to like power in, like, you know, the tilt and moving around, up, down. And they even have that turbo crest engraved on them. So unfortunately these are probably going to go in the dumpster, or at least the covers will for sure. I was kind of thinking when I first saw and thought about buying the car, a couple bucket seats in there and call it a day. But if these are salvageable, I'd love to have them. The interior, I think the worst part about cars with T-tops is they tend to always leak, or a T-top gets smashed, and then any amount of water that gets inside a car just annihilates the interior. And that's definitely the case here. The passenger side T-top was smashed out, and then it sat, and then the guy, after it was ruined, the old guy who owned it finally decided, I guess I'll sell it. You know, where he could have got a couple grand for it at one time. You know, he waited till it was ruined and then sold it for 600 bucks. You know, look at that T-top. All this interior is just smoked. Even the headliner is all shredded up. So, dash looks okay. Not even any cracks on the dash. Steering wheel's got a cover on it. It's probably worn out underneath. I hate these things. I'd rather have a ruined steering wheel than a steering wheel cover. Yeah. Junk. Out the T-top. Nothing there. Missing the stereo. You know, guy had to take his subs and the stereo out before he sold it. Glove box. Nothing really in there. Got the floor mats. Another old seat cover. The ruined one. This kind of worried me. I saw a thermostat on the dashboard. So either it's had a thermostat done or it needs a thermostat done. Obviously won't find that out for a while. Oh wait, here I just answered it. The gasket. It needs a thermostat done. Oh yeah. Interesting thing too. I don't know if it's. I'm assuming old man who owned it, he had a thing for Swisher Sweets. So, look at down here. There's a bunch of old wrappers for Swisher Sweets.
So gross.
And then like the tint stuck to all the broken glass of the T-top is still in here. And then, I really know he liked tobacco because you open the ashtray. There's a bunch of loose tobacco. Like,
ew.
I could think of two reasons why there'd be a bunch of Swisher Sweet wrappers on the floor and a bunch of tobacco in the ashtray. Number one, this guy just liked cigars. Maybe he smoked a pipe. But being that that's a very strange way to store pipe tobacco, my second guess is that this guy liked blunts with Swisher Sweets. And he would take the tobacco out and then put whatever else he wanted inside and then enjoy a nice blunt. But that's all well and great and disgusting. So, anything else in here? Let's see. Well, the car itself is one of my all-time dream cars, and that's why I am okay with buying such a beater version of it, because this is a full digital dash turbo. The only drawback is that it's an auto, but it's got the electronically adjustable suspension. That digital dash is so cool. I have been watching commercials for this car for like the last 12 years on YouTube. This and the C4 Corvette from the same era. They're like two cars that I've always wanted in my collection. And I got one of them. We'll see. He said the whole dash works. I saw it light up and stuff. I don't know if any of the sensors actually work, but it's gonna need a lot of work. But I think step one, we are going to just get it over in my driveway. And I'm going to put a cover on it so it doesn't annoy the neighbors. I'm going to have to order some new T-tops. I'll probably grab a pair that match. And once the interior is sealed, then I will feel better about putting time cleaning it. So I'll vacuum all the glass up, get all the junk out of it, and we'll take the seats out, we'll clean the carpeting and everything, and we'll get the interior all cleaned up. And then the exterior, we'll pressure wash it and see what it looks like. And it already needs some paint because there's so much of the clear coat flaking off. The trunk is from a different car. You can tell the paint is a different color. And the engine bay is disgusting too, so I'd love to get in there with the pressure washer and close it all out. We're gonna start by cleaning the interior. We'll pressure wash the exterior, and then we'll start with a clean car baseline. It's my favorite way to start a project, just clean the hell out of it. And then you see all the broken stuff that you need to fix. You know, it's funny, you know, some people say you imitate your heroes, or, you know, art is just a collection of what you like and then you create things based on what you like. Well, yesterday, if you've never seen Roadkill, I was feeling very Roadkill. And today, cleaning out this rusty 300ZX, I'm feeling very Noriaro with his Beans 86. It's kind of funny, I was just thinking about it. So I couldn't take just putting this thing away and not vacuuming it and cleaning it up. So I started vacuuming and now I can't really stop. So I went ahead and yanked the seats out so I could vacuum under them. There's so much broken glass. And I learned two things, or rather confirmed two things about the prior owner or owners of this car. One, they definitely played golf. And two, they definitely liked their weed. Oh my god, this car's hilarious. If you want to see more content with this 300ZX, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.